So today we're going to be reviewing the 2009 Mercedes E-350. So the 2009 Mercedes E-350 comes in a price range of somewhere from $3,000 to $9,000. That's at least what Kelley Blue Book says. It all depends on the mileage and the condition that you're getting. And to be honest, for a car that's under $10,000, it's a really great choice, and I'll explain you why. Talking about the exterior of the Mercedes, well, you can tell that it's very elegant, it's classy, and it has aged very well. Compared to the next generation, which got a lot more squared, this one looks like a true Mercedes. One of the great benefits of this car are the fact that the paint is not water-based, so you don't have those little scratches when you go through a car wash. That's number one. And number two, the car mainly is made out of metal. It has some aluminum in it, but not a lot. So when you close the door, when you drive it, it feels like a tank, it feels safe, it feels very heavy and very substantial. So this Mercedes was produced, this model, the W211 chassis as they call it, was produced from 2002 and 2009. In 2007 they had a big restyle. The pre-restyle models were the E320 and E500. After the restyle, they've renamed their lineup to E350 and E550. What really changed, it was the engines. The M112 and M113 that was on the pre-restyle versions were much more reliable, but much more simple. And if you'd like to choose a car with that engine, you have to keep in mind that they're almost 20 years old now. After the restyle, if you look at the M272 engine, which is in this car, is a 3.5 liter, that's exactly what I recommend. This engine is reliable, it's very simple, it doesn't have many electronic gimmicks. So if you compare it to the competitors like the BMW E60 with the 535 engine, the straight six, the engine itself is good, but a lot of electronics, a lot of electronic gremlins, and they had the first version of iDrive, which is honestly terrible. I wouldn't recommend that to an enemy. But if you compare it to the Audi A6, a 3-liter supercharged engine, it's a decent engine, not bad, but the car itself is pretty bland and not interesting. So I wouldn't recommend the E550 because with that beautiful V8 comes another problem, which is the air suspension. At that age, the air suspension will 100% go out and will have problems. And to replace those, they're like $5,000, which is super expensive. It's just not worth it. There was a different version of a V8, which is the E63 after the restyle and the E55 before the restyle, which I highly recommend. It's a super fun car. You can easily get 500, 600, 700 horsepower out of them. They're much better than anything else, but that's a whole different story. We're not going to talk about that now. We're going to make a separate review for that car. One extra feature that these cars have, they came in two versions of transmissions, 4MATIC and non-4MATIC. The 4MATIC is the all-wheel drive system made by Mercedes. It's pretty good in the snow, but the owner of this specific car, we live in Colorado, has no problems in the winter because he has good winter tires and you put a sandbag in the trunk, you'll be totally fine, no problems. The transmission in this car is a 6-speed called 7G-tronic. It's actually a great transmission, even though the rumors are that it's not super reliable because it requires good maintenance and regular oil changes. But hey, every single car requires that. I mean, if you want to run forever, then you have to invest in your car. The transmission shifts silky smooth. There's no jerkiness, herkiness with it. I highly recommend it. The 7G-tronic, not the Plus version that comes in the newer version of the Mercedes E-Class. So the interior on the Mercedes, it aged really well. It's super classy, it has beautiful lines in it, nothing rattles, it's built like a tank. The only downside of this interior is its infotainment system. It's pretty old and outdated, it doesn't have Apple CarPlay. The only things that it has is Bluetooth, and you cannot play your music through it. So if you're looking to purchase one of these, just keep in mind that you won't have none of that. Now, driving the Mercedes E-350, a 2009 model, how does it feel? The car feels very heavy, very planted. It feels like it has heft. It feels like it's built out of metal, not like these newer cars. It feels like they're built out of aluminum foil. Second thing, you realize that the suspension is soft. It's soft in the corners, it's soft in the straight line, but not overly soft. It's tuned properly. It's a suspension that was built by German engineers, so you can't go wrong with that. You'll like it. If you like something more comfortable, you'll like the suspension 100%. The engine that we're driving now, the M272, has plenty of power. It's not bad on gas. The owner says that he does about 25, 26 miles to the gallon on average. Probably mostly highway driving. But anyway, I'd say that for a V6 of this age, that's a really good result. Plus, the engine is full of torque. There's nothing bad I can say about it. Now, how does the car compare to its German rivals? Now, the BMW E60, the 5 Series, has a cheaper interior that rattles a lot, has a lot of electronic gremlins, and to be honest, the iDrive is the first infotainment system that was created for a car. It's much worse than having nothing at all, like this car. Comparing to the Audi has a good interior, has good engines, but the car is kind of bland. It doesn't have soul. It feels like you're driving an appliance. So, would I recommend this car if you're looking to purchase one? I think this car has a lot of pros to be considered, at least for purchase. So if you're looking to buy a car that's German premium, that's under $10,000, I think this car is a good candidate for that. It's reliable, it feels solid, it feels like a luxury car, it feels like a premium car. So yes, I highly recommend it. And that's it for now. See you next time. Bye-bye.